I just finished week 9 attendance and I was talking about the technical interview. So now I'm going to do a video just going over how the signups will work. Okay. So I mentioned this, but I'll mention it again. It's done in CodeSpace. So it's not going to be in your CodeSpace. Once you come into the session, then I'll invite you in and we'll go from there. And as I said, you can sign up after you finish week 9. Now here's the signups here. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this up so you can see this, right? So the actual first date, and these actually will go, is on a Thursday, the 20th, March 20th, okay? And you won't put anything in here. This is a read-only document, and what will happen is, and you can see basically these are all my office hours. Now you may not see that, but that's what it is. And I have also, at least for the first couple weeks, and then it's spring break, and here put the weeks in as well. But let's come back here and then I'll come back and talk about this. Right now you have 2 attempts at the technical interview, right? But after Monday 4/28 there can only be 1, and that's just because of the unlimited amount of time. So if and in general I recommend doing this sooner, and you can see this on the schedule because after this point, right, limited to 1. Now that's just because I have also another class that is doing my JavaScript class also does technical interviews, and so I'm just knowing I've experienced now that those last couple of weeks of the semester get pretty crowded. But again, I'm trying to encourage you to do it sooner, and you'll see why in a minute. Okay. So again, you have 2, but if you wait until later, you'll only have 1. Now, so what you're doing here on this step is you're going to submit, right? By doing the step, you're submitting for information. Oh, hold on. Let me read what I wrote. Right. So when you review this, then the step you're about to do here is actually tell me the day and times, right? Because let's say that you wanted to sign up for one of these. And remember, Fridays are online only. You definitely can come into my office except for Fridays where it's only online. But if you want to come on campus, but you don't have to, because anytime my office hours are listed, they are also Zoom. So that is a possibility as well. And then they are scheduled for 30 minutes, okay? So if my office hours, and this is something I really want to emphasize because I had a student last semester say they didn't realize I had offered this. So I just want you to know that if my office hours don't work for your schedule, I'll do my best to work with you. Just know there are a limited number of late, and I won't be able to really accommodate anything after 6:30 at night just because of my own personal schedule, but I'm trying to be flexible with that as well. So when you're submitting this, and that's what you do here, like this assignment is really you submitting, it's a text box, right? So you submit 2 possible days and times, okay? And I will do my best. So of course I start with my office hours because that works best for me, but I'm also not saying those are the only times. It's just giving a starting point for us, right? So you submit 2 dates in case and here's what I do is when somebody submits this assignment here with their dates, then what I do is I do a first come first serve, which means is if I have 2 students submitting close, even from the other class, I look at who submitted first, and then I go on first come first serve basis. Okay. Now you can tell me also in your submission if you're coming in on Zoom or on FCC campus, because if you're coming on campus, then I just make sure we have a place in the lab because I don't have 2 computers in my office, but you could bring your computer as well. Now, I just provide this for students coming in on Zoom, whether you're on Windows or Mac, is understand how to screen share, because if you're on a Mac, you actually have to take a couple of more steps. Oh yeah, and then I cover here about if you're coming on campus, that's fine, right? My room faces social science. That's my building, right? If you're bringing your laptop. And each session is 30 minutes. And I know it's not quick. So part of the reason I've been emphasizing so much the reviews, and you will have heard me now talk about starting in week 9, how I'm going to make those more broad based as far as what we've learned to give you more of that, like maybe you've forgotten certain things. It's fairly natural. But in 30 minutes, you're going to, and this is where I talked about in week 9, so you'll see it here, a total of 6 queries. Now, this may be pretty straightforward queries, right? These two may be a little more involved, but they are doable in 30 minutes if you've been actually authentically writing SQL. There will be no coding assistants, no other LLMs that can be used during this interview, because this is actually, if you are in tech, technical interviews are a thing. So having some experience here is helpful in my opinion. Rescheduling is discouraged, as I will have limited time as the semester comes to an end, right? I get that things happen, and of course, the better, I'll do my best to work with you. And this is where I talk about the sooner the better. And let me emphasize why. Is that the sooner you schedule, not only do you possibly have time to do a second one if you need. I've had probably, of the students who've done these, 30% come back to do another one. Most students, 70% don't, right? But notice as the weeks go on, we cover more content, and therefore this list is subject to change based on the content of when you come in. And I haven't done this a lot, but I'm doing this really honestly to encourage you to come in the sooner rather than later. And by the way, this accounts for, in this case, 20% of your grade. And so one of the things that I just try to clearly communicate with students is, because I've had students ask me, can I get through this course passing without doing the interview, because it's just so nerve-wracking for them. And I would say, yeah, but you have had to have maintained a good grade in order to do that. Now, one thing you can do here, and again, I'm just giving you options because I think that's what my job is. Like, if once you get to this item and you know you're not going to do it, you can say in your submission, I do not plan to do one. You do not have to explain to me why. But if you don't plan on, and by the way, you can change your mind later. It's okay. But what I will do is put a 0 in this item so you will see in your grade, in your overall grade, what that does. Now, there's still work to be done, right, in the course. But in this case, and also when we get down to the last 2 weeks, if you haven't scheduled something, I actually will do this as well so you know what that impact is. I hope this gives you what you need. Summary is, once you get here, look at the schedule. And by the way, when I actually have confirmed with students, I will start putting this in here so that you will see that those times have been taken. And then you can look for other times. But again, it's first come, first serve. Submit this by asking for at least 2. Give me 2 dates that would work. Also tell me if you're coming in on Zoom or if you're coming in campus. And if you're coming in campus without a laptop, tell me so that I can have a lab set up. And if you're bringing your laptop, cool, make sure you're connected to the Wi-Fi. And then if you're coming in on Zoom, make sure you know how to screen share, know how long they are, know starting the week before you got here, your reviews will start having more content related to what we've learned to help you prepare. The sooner you do this, the better. All right, I'll talk to you soon. I hope this gives you what you need. Always reach out if you have questions.